Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him.
Hey, yo, what is up, my faux shizzlers? It's your boy, FizzleTheHizzle, aka Ben here. Bringing you guys a WPL Week 3. I messed it up again, just like the end of the team builder. Week 3 battle against Spanic and the New York Rangers. I'm trying to pick up our first dub of the season, not trying to go 0-3, of course. And if you guys didn't check out my team builder, it went up yesterday. Let you know what I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it, stuff like that. So, yeah, man, first glance at his team. His only way of removal is Defog Flygon, so rocks can be very good for that. And I decided to lead Metacham here because nothing really wants to take a fake out, especially not this Heliolisk. And if he switches in anything else, he gets bobbed by Zen Headbutt. So you can see that the Toxapex takes fake out damage, and then I'm just going to go for Zen Headbutt here, but he reveals a Baneful Bunker, which is not a set that I honestly would agree with. Like, I don't know, it came in clutch in this entire battle, but I don't know if I would ever bring Baneful Bunker just because it's like a bad move. But he brings a Baneful Bunker, we get a poison on the Metacham, we go for Zen Headbutt, hopefully a flinch, but it does not kill. And he unfortunately gets a crit with the Liquidation, which is huge, man. It's huge. Any bit of extra damage on anything is huge. So crits always matter in my opinion. And we switch on to Scolipede, predicting a recover or something, and he switches out to Tango. We get a big Mega Horn off, and he reveals a Rock Tomb, which is a really good way to mess up our speed passing. But we go for the Mega Horn again, and we miss the Flygon, which could be potentially huge. We go into our Celesteela, because I know we can take any hit from this thing. If it's not Z, he reveals a Fire Punch, which does a lot. And I just needed this thing out of my face, so I went for the Supersonic Sky Strike, and obliterated him on the face of the earth. So that was really good just to get gone. And we switch into our Orochimaru here to try to take the Volt Switch, but he crits us again. So, like I say, always every bit of extra damage messes us up. Now, I predicted a Mach Punch right there from the Hitmonchan, and he reveals to have Drain Punch, so I'm pretty sure this will be AV at this point, knowing that he stayed in like that. So getting a lot of chip damage on this thing will be the key for Orochimaru playing a big role in the rest of the match. So I go into Romatis predicting the Mach Punch that I thought he had, but we just go for the Wish to try to pass into my Celesteela, which we successfully do. And if he gets a crit Liquidation, then he kills, but he fortunately does not. So we get all that health back, and we just go for the Earthquake here. No drawback play. I was thinking about flying there, because he didn't have any good switch-ins to it, but he could just recover with Toxapex. And I just switch into Cabaret at this point to try to get another Wish off. And he goes into this thing, so this tells me that he has Iron Head if he switch it in hard on the Aromatisse. And I predicted double going into Toxapex or something. So I went to my Hydreigon and I caught the Kyurem off guard with that, and we're in a really good position, but I'm terrified of Scarf Kyurem. So I switch out into my Cabaret to see if it was Scarf, because if he attacks right there, he's Scarf, right? Because he dies to a Draco or anything he wants to go for. But he goes into Hitmonchan, which makes me believe that it's definitely AV, right? Because nobody switches Hitmonchan in on the Hydreigon unless it's AV, right? So we now know that Hitmonchan's a check to this thing. He goes for a Bullet Punch, which does nothing. And I stay in, go for the Moonblast so that... actually, no, I stay in and go for the Heal Belt. I don't know why I went for the Heal Belt, honestly. Probably to get rid of the poison on the Metacham. I would have Moonblasted right there, just to get good chip damage on the Hitmonchan, so that Draco Meteor can, like, bop that thing. So, that was a misplay on my end. I should have gone into, or I should have Moonblasted right there to put it in range of anything that Hydreigon wants to go for. But instead I go for the Heal Bell, and we do heal all the way back up, get some nice lefties recovery as well. And I believe, I protect right here apparently, just to get more lefties chip and see what he wants to go into. He misses a Leech Seed right here into Tango that he switches in. So I wish right here, and I go into Metacham here, predicting him to go for another Leech Seed. But he goes for a Power Whip here. He hits it first of all. Nice luck. And he knocks us out. I didn't really see that play happening because, like, I can just Moonblast this thing to death now that I know it's not AV. And his way of recovery is probably like Leech Seed, and that's it. And I was really surprised by the Power Whip play, not gonna lie, but good play apparently, and he knocks out our Metacham, so that's unfortunate for us. We get a free switch in into our Orochimaru, and we go for a Fire Blast here, and that is huge damage on this thing, even though it's AV, because it took that really well. And I'm predicting a Mach Punch here, but he goes into he goes for the Ice Punch, which I don't understand why he went for the Ice Punch, because Draco, if Fire Blast did that much, Draco Meteor would have bopped that thing. But yeah, I don't understand why he went for the Ice Punch. He was sacking this thing or something. But then like Hydreigon just went ham on his team. So I go into Seppa predicting a Mach Punch, and he goes for the Ice Punch and brings us down and puts us in Bullet Punch range. I protect here because why not? I go into Celesteela to save the Seppa, and I make a misplay right here. I should have went for Fly instead of Heavy Slam, because I thought Heavy Slam kills Hitmonchan every single time, right? We got low rolled on that one, and Drain Punch did a lot of damage. So I should have flied right there, because he does not have switch-ins into that thing. But he does get the KO on my Celesteela with the Hitmonchan. Now we go into our nice Midnight here to kill it with Excel Rock. Thinking about going for Rocks there, but Excel Rock was just a safer play. I get up Rocks in front of this thing. He goes for a Rock Tomb, so he breaks our Sash. I'm more than happy to go for a Rocks there. It whittles down the Heliolisk and the Kyurem Black, and it's really good chip for his Regenerator Core to come in, because that Regenerator Core does not want to take a Draco Meteor after Rocks, let me tell you, from Hydreigon. So I switch on to Aromatisse. He goes for another Rock Tomb, as I thought before. I thought he would go for a Grass move, but that's fine. And he goes into Toxapex here, so it seems like this is his answer to Aromatisse. So that's good information for us to know. And we pull a huge double into Hydreigon. So what I basically do here is I go for Draco Meteor, or I go for a move, and he either protects here or something dies. Toxapex has a chance to live. I went for Earth Power because I didn't want to waste Dracos so easily. Because Draco doesn't kill, and he can just recover and Baneful Bunker stall me out, since we do have a special attack drop. But I predicted him to go into Tangrowth because he went for the Earth Power. Because I went for the Earth Power, you saw that. And I thought he would go into Tangrowth or Kyurem. Honestly, if it was Scarf, he might have been bluffing the Scarf before. And if he switches that in on the Earth Power, then he can kill. He gets a free kill basically, right, with Ice Beam, and that's a problem. But I go for the Draco Meteor here. He decides to stay in, which I don't really understand this play either, like at all. And he goes for the recovery here. And if I Earth Powered twice, that would have put him in range. Like if I Earth Powered him twice, this thing would have been gone. So I go into Aromatisse here, goes for a Liquidation, and doesn't even get a Wish off here. He goes into Kyurem Black here. I actually switch out into Scolipede. This has been a while since I played this match, so I don't really remember what I did. So I switch out hard into Scolipede, so I can get a good Protect off. And he has Iron Head, so he does reveal to have Steel Coverage for my Aromatisse, which is not too uncommon, right? And we still don't see Leftovers, so I'm assuming he's like Scarf or Life Orb at this point. Probably Life Orb. And that Protect gets us like security, because if this thing is Scarf, we do outspeed it. And Mega Horn does a lot to this thing. And we die to Life Orb, and he goes for a Dragon Claw, so that tells me exactly the information I needed, because he dies to any hit from Orochimaru, we outspeed 100% of the time. And I just go for the Earth Power here to secure the knockout, in case he wants to go Toxapex and stall out my Dracos. That's exactly the play he had to make. So I go, he goes Heliolisk, and I switch out to Cabaret, which might have been a misplay, because he just goes for the Volt Switch, but I didn't want to risk him having Focus Blast and just losing that way, because Hydreigon is my win con at this point, and I can't afford to lose that thing. So he goes into Tangrowth, and I predict him to go for Power Whip, and he goes for a knockoff, which is pretty big, right? Because we don't have any more leftovers and residual recovery. And I go for the Wish here, and I protect here just to get more health off. And I'm going to Wish again here, I believe. And he gets a Leech Seed damage off. And he goes into Sunburnt here. His Heliolisk. Going to go to Hydreigon, get a lot more HP back. And we are basically at full. And he can't really kill me with anything, even with the Focus Blast. So we just Draco here and knock this thing out. And that HP Ice damage is rather big because that HP Ice damage is rather big because it can put me in range of other things, especially with Life Orb. He goes into Tangrowth here, and I just switch hard out into Aromatisse again. He goes for the Power Whip play. Good prediction on his end, and I see that I cannot live 2 of these, but I'm more than okay with sacking Aromatisse here because, like, Draco wins at this point, right? Because if Aromatisse dies, I bring in Hydreigon, and then something takes a huge Draco Meteor, and I'll get more into that play when it comes to it. So I'm basically going to protect here, stall him out of, like, Power Whips or Leech Seed, see what he wants to go for, and I'm basically going to sack this thing off. Oh, I guess I don't sack this thing off. Wow. I go into Orochimaru right here. Now, this is the play of the century. Why did I make that play? I would have sacked this thing off. I would have sacked Aromatisse off, honestly. But, actually thinking about it now, Aromatisse basically stalls out Toxapex because it doesn't have Toxic or anything like that. So we can just we can just stall him out of recovers, so that would be pretty cool. This is a huge play right here, right? If he stays in and I go for the Draco, I 100% like kill him. No matter what investment he has, I kill him. He's not AV because he goes for the Leech Seed and stuff like that, right? He switches in Toxapex here, and he stalls out my Draco Meteors. Like, the way he wins is to switch into Toxapex and switch back and forth between his Regenerator Core to stall out my Draco Meteors, right? I don't have Roost on this thing. At this point, I regret not having Roost on this thing because I would have roosted up, and that basically cost me the game. We will see. So his play is to go into Toxapex, right? And I predict him and go into Aromatisse because I know that Toxapex cannot touch Aromatisse, right? I'm sorry if I'm like really iffy about these plays. I don't remember a lot of what happened, but I do remember why I made these plays. So I went to Aromatisse predicting the Toxapex switch because that's how he wins, right? He switches out in between his Regenerator Core. And if he goes into Toxapex, I go into Aromatisse, and I'm just sitting in front of the Toxapex. I go for a Wish, and I pass it into Hydreigon, which can win the game. And that's a play that he would make. That's how he won the game. But instead he goes for the Power Whip, which... he hits a Power Whip, first of all. He hit like 5 Power Whips in this game. That play does not make sense to me, man. If I had Roost there, I Roost up right there, and then, like, he dies to a Draco. He 100% dies to a Draco. I don't know if he knew that. He was willing to let his Tangrowth die, and if I stayed in and killed his Tangrowth, I won the game. Like, no doubt about it, I won the game, because Lycanroc plus Hydreigon can stall out Toxapex, and I have Aromatisse I can Wish pass into Hydreigon, so I can just kill it at that point. But he goes for the Power Whip here, which is insane, and this marks the downfall of this game. But I just go into Orochimaru and drop a Draco, man, and you can see that it just clean one-shots him easily. And he has a Toxapex left, right? So my play 100% is to go into Lycanroc and try to get an Endeavor off. He goes for a Water move right here, and that's just my play entirely. I go into Midnight. He can't kill me with any Water move, but he goes for the Recover. I go for the Stone Edge here, get some nice chip damage because I don't want to reveal my set too much. I mean, Liquidation does not kill me from any range, so I decide to stay in, and I go for the Endeavor right here, and that puts him really low and in range of Excel Rock or Stone Edge, right? And I made a couple misplays regarding these 2 turns because he goes for the cover right here, and I knew he would Baneful Bunker, and I did not know Endeavor made contact, right? So he goes for the Baneful Bunker right here, I believe, and I Endeavor, and I make contact with the Baneful Bunker, so I die to poison, unfortunately. That was a huge choke on my end. If I Stone Edged right there, I Endeavor again, and that puts him in a position where he has to recover every single turn, and Draco kills from that range, But yeah, I die. And yeah, that's basically the game. I get the low roll on Draco Meteor, which is salt in the wound. I get the low roll on Draco Meteor, and he kills me with liquidation. That was a crazy roll because I did 75% with Draco Meteor to this thing before, and then I do 67%. That was like max to min, basically, like the chat is saying. Like, I don't agree with some of the plays he made there, but in the end he won. Nothing I can do about it, right? This was an easily winnable game for me. I played the best I could, right? Obviously the Lycan Rock misplay severely hindered my ability to win the game. That's just the nature of the game, and staying in with Tangrowth rather. Like, if I hit that Draco and I connected onto the Tangrowth and I killed it, 100% of the time, I 100% of the time win, because Aromatisse stalls out Toxapex, and I still have my Lycan Rock and Hydreigon in the back. So that was really unfortunate. We lose 1-0, so we are now 0-3 with a -8 differential, and that's kind of sucky, but what are you going to do about it? Yeah, what are you going to do about it? We play Matt O'Shea, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and we play him for week 4. So next week, that will happen, and thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me, and like always, have a swell day. Peace.